Gabrielle Union did a recent interview on the Balanced Black Girl podcast where she spoke on her marriage to Dwayne Wade and her viral comment about going 50-50 in her marriage and how she now feels differently about that. Is it okay that she has now changed her mind on going 50-50 in a relationship? Is that conventional or non conventional in today's society? We're going to talk about it. Let's get into it. Gabrielle Union stated in a portion of the interview that her relationship to Dwayne Wade was based on them splitting everything because she felt that it gave her a sense of control and safety within the relationship. Didn't feel comfortable relinquishing that to somebody else because what if they leave? What if they feel a type of way like she's trying to use them? And all these feelings of insecurity and instability that I'm guessing she had to endure growing up.
I famously said 50-50 or bust, right? You know, and I meant that in every financially, spiritually, emotionally. And there's just a lot of days that I have 10% and I need him to be 90. There's days I don't have shit and I need him to be 100. I'm not going to be vulnerable enough to trust you with 100% of anything. Not my heart, not my cash, not my, my energy. And when I started to really address that, and I was like, do you want to pay the whole mortgage? I thought I was about to die. I had such anxiety. Like I was crying, I was shaking. And he was like, yeah, you insisted on that. He's like, I thought it made you feel better. I'm like, it did. And right now I want to take it back. Crazy to be like, you, Mr. NBA superstar, who made a bazillion more amount of money than I do, can pay the mortgage. Because I hate the feeling of releasing that to someone because he knows it's not about whether he can afford it. It's being vulnerable enough to be open enough to know that I'm okay. I'm okay as his wife. I'm okay. He's okay as my husband. I'm okay in this family. I'm okay in this home. I deserve it. And I'm okay.
For some of us, we can definitely relate to this, especially if you grew up in a harsh environment, you grew up in poverty, you grew up struggling financially, and your world, your environment was unstable. You were unstable financially. You can grow up feeling like things are scarce, money is scarce, that no one else is going to, come and take care of you, that you have to do everything on your own, and that you can't trust somebody else to do something for you. But now Gabrielle Union is saying that she is in a season in her life where she is able to embrace vulnerability, being more vulnerable in her marriage, and letting her husband know that I trust you. I trust you. I trust that you got me. I trust that you will be there. I trust that you know how to handle things, to make decisions, and that you can afford to take care of me, the household, our bills, and etc. Now, it's been a long debate of whether people should go 50-50 in a relationship or if the man should pay for everything. And I honestly feel like it depends on where you are in life. If you are in the trenches, you're struggling financially, you're unstable, and you're in the building phase of your life, trying to get your life together, I feel like it would make it harder to get there if only one person is carrying the financial burden, whether that be the man or the woman, because some women are paying, 100% of the household. They are carrying the bills and everything like that. And so when it's on a woman and she's carrying the household financially, she's very vocal on how hard it is and how unfair it is, and that she wishes that she had more help. And men feel the same way. They are human just like us. They feel like we do. And it could be hard on them as well when they are carrying a household solely 100%. And so I feel like it depends on where you are financially. If financially you're struggling, things are not stable, you're both trying to, grind it out. I do believe that going 50-50 would be the most beneficial because when you are putting together two parts, you're putting together two heads, two money pots into one, you're able to get further ahead versus just being on one person and it's slowing them down. But if you are someone who is in a situation such as Gabrielle Union, where you as the woman have a lot of money, he as the man has a lot of money, maybe even more than you, because she says that, at this point he's making way more money than she is. Then I feel like you should transition to releasing some of that control and financial burden onto the man because at that point he should be stepping into his role as a provider. Now, if you are a woman who prefers to have your own money, who prefers to contribute, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And so if you want to contribute, 20, 30% and he contribute, 70, 80, do what works for you. I feel like so many of us are trying to create these blanket mindsets and theories and ideologies and trying to conform everybody else into what we believe. Like there is just a one size fits all right or wrong thing to do when it comes to relationships, parenting, etc. When in reality, life is not linear. There are fluctuations, there are periods where you're up, there are periods where you are down. One person may be making more than the other. One person may need help. And so when you are in a serious committed relationship, such as a marriage, and your vows, it states for richer or for poor, in sickness and in health. And some of us can forget about that because we're so wrapped up in, the wedding and portraying ourselves as being married. But then when it comes to the actual work of a marriage and it gets hard and we're hearing all these different voices about what it should be and what a man should do, it causes distress within a marriage because you're no longer following the path that God made for you and your husband. You're trying to live up to somebody else's expectations. And that's not going to do good for you and your relationship. I'm going to just say that. Now, there's nothing wrong with people stating their opinion, stating what may have worked for them, and just putting it out there just in case somebody else may resonate with that. Or, giving information um, about certain things, trying to help someone else. But when you take all of that away, it basically boils down to you and what you believe and what you feel is the right dynamic within your relationship. And someone else may not agree, but it's also not them. It's not their relationship. And so you have to do what works for you. It's just like when Cheryl Lee Ralph did an interview on Tamron Hall, and she was speaking on her marriage and how her and her husband live separately.
There are a lot of people sitting in relationships and they're unhappy and they haven't been able to say to their partner, this is how I feel. It is those difficult conversations that you have with your partner that allow you to have a deeper relationship. And I think a lot of people are not talking with each other and they're sitting in their sadness, wishing they were apart. And we're only apart because that's the way it works for us.
Say you're on a 2-week schedule because he gets weird after 2 weeks.
Let me correct
Wait,
that.
no.
Let me correct
because
that.
What happens?
Record. whenever Cheryl has to
Such
leave
a
or I have to
politician.
leave, no, I just want the people to understand the truth.
There you
Okay,
go.
all right.
How do you, when you're in the bed and you're missing her and she's not there, how do you reconcile that longing to be with the woman you love?
It's the anticipation of being together.
I said to Vincent, Vincent, why don't we buy you a new car? Vincent literally pulled over to the side of the road and he looked at me and he said, this is who I am, this is what I do, and if you are not comfortable driving around in this car, you better say something right now. And okay.
Philly.
I so respected
Yes.
him standing confidently in himself and not saying, I need a fancy car because I'm with a fancy you, or you need to do this, or you need to do that. He said, no, I drive an old car. You happy or you not?
Talent that Cheryl is. She's been out there grinding and working and being wherever she had to be, doing whatever she had to do, and now it's finally happening. And it's happening in a way, Tamron, you'll appreciate this. It's happening in a way where it's about the education of our children. Something that I've spent so much time in my career working on, trying to move forward. And the stories that are being told and how she's portraying the excellence that she portrays in her character. Yeah. It's first of all, it's Cheryl. That is Cheryl. Just a little slightly different version, okay, all right? Different wig, all right, you know, all right? Okay, but it's so much Cheryl. And I'm like, wow. And I'm just so happy for her.
Oh.
They don't even live together. And it's been like that for 20 years. And just by me looking at the interview, I could tell why they do not live together. Cheryl seems like a very dominant person, a very dominant, bold personality, which is fine. You know, it's what works for her, is what made her successful in her career. But when it comes to a man who is confident and stands for something, it's going to clash with that. You know, it's going to clash with you being dominant and him being dominant. And so I can see why they feel like they have to be apart because two dominant people are not going to work. um, but that doesn't mean that you don't still love each other, value each other, respect each other, and that you don't want to still be together. It seems like they just understand that in order for their relationship to continue, they need time apart because after being around each other for so long and they're both battling for control, like she said, it gets annoying. And like he said, she gets antsy. So, you know, I feel like we're in the age of people expressing more non-conventional um ways of operating in relationships, such as sleeping in separate bedrooms, such as living apart, such as going 50-50, you know, such as, women being the breadwinner, earning more money than men. Our society is changing, and I don't know if that's a good thing or if it's a bad thing. I do feel like some elements of it can have a negative impact, such as when one person is carrying all the weight, will it make that other person lazy? You know, will it make that other person feel like you are required to take care of them and that they don't have to do anything, they don't have to contribute anything. And as soon as something goes wrong or the money runs out, then they're gone. So I think that would be the negative impact of that. You know, people getting lazy and too content and not putting in, real work into a relationship, into a marriage, because it is a lot of work. It's a lot of compromise. It's a lot of strategizing. And it's a lot of compassion and understanding for where somebody is right then. But what works for you works for you. Let that work for you. As long as it is what you truly believe, what truly um settles with your spirit, like it's what makes you comfortable, it's what makes you secure in your relationship. And it's coming from a positive place, not a place of trauma, not a place of feeling insecure, not a place of needing to be in control, but that this is who you are and what you are actually capable of doing and carrying through the life of your relationship. Because what you start, you should be willing or able to continue, because this is for the long run. Marriage is till the end. And so are you able to do what it is that you are doing till the end? Are you able to battle it out, grind it out, support each other, be each other's backbone? Where one is falling, you are able to step in. If not, then marriage may not be for you. And that's why so many people are able to give up so quickly and easily when things are going wrong, especially when it comes to money, because as it's been said over and over for decades, finances is the top reason that couples divorce. And it's not exactly because of the lack of money, but the effects of money or the lack of money. If you didn't have any money, would you still be there? Would you still be able to do whatever it takes to support your partner and make it work and grind it out and get y'all to the next level? If not, then maybe you should reevaluate who you are and who you want to be as a wife or as a husband. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments below. Make sure that you like this video and you subscribe to the channel. And I will talk to you in the next one of which is this one.